Hello, everybody. It's nice to have you here on our meeting. Please introduce yourself and tell us about what you do and something about your work and background.
Greetings to everybody who's watching this video. My name is Katalin Bene. I'm an associate professor at the Széchenyi István University, and my major research area is hydrology, modeling, and water resources engineering. I am the technical project manager of this DALIA project.
Hi everybody, my name is Emil Janák. I am a civil engineer and I am a water resource management expert. At the beginning of the rehabilitation project, I was a member of the expert team. Later on, became a head of department and subsequently a director responsible for overseeing the entire process.
Hello everyone, my name is Máté Chappon. I'm a civil engineer specialized in hydrology and water resources management, and I'm working currently at the University of Győr, Széchenyi University, as a PhD candidate and assistant lecturer as well. And I was involved in one phase of the rehabilitation project as planning and preparation of the Szigetköz rehabilitation.
I'm Gergely Ámon. I'm also civil engineer, planning engineer, and also I work in the department as a researcher, lecturer, and a PhD candidate. My main fields are numerical, hydrodynamical, and hydrological modeling, and planning of water hydraulic structures according to water resources.
Hello everyone, my name is Attila Kálmán, also working at Széchenyi University as Máté and Gergely, as an assistant lecturer and a PhD candidate, and as a research engineer on the DALIA project. My focus areas are nature-based solutions, stakeholder involvement, integrated water utilization, including energetics, and a little bit of water economics.
Hi everyone. What is important about this project, its goals? What is special or unique about it?
Before I immediately respond to you, I'd like to a little bit show you the Szigetköz, just a couple of words about it. Szigetköz is located in northwestern Hungary, in an island delta of the Danube, and supports a diverse and dynamic floodplain ecosystem. Over the century, Danube naturally fragmented across the terrain into multiple braided river wedges, creating one of Central Europe's most complex and valuable floodplains. Today, the Danube marks the border between Hungary and Slovakia, and the southernmost branch, known as the Mosonyi Danube, defines the lower boundary of this river network. The land between these two river systems is called Szigetköz, covering approximately 375 square kilometers. Similarly, structured floodplain Csalköz, Zrínyi Ostrov, lies on the Slovak side. Close to the Old Danube, the green area delineates the active floodplain, while the larger yellow area is the historical floodplain. In the future, we're going to explain to you why I highlighted this. Historically, human settlements in the region have coexisted with the Danube. Natural changes over the past century, large-scale river engineering and water management project has significantly reshaped this region. Because of the regulation, the upper section of the Danube, both Hungary and Czechoslovakia wanted to improve navigation conditions, generate hydropower, and improve flood safety. After decades of planning, the two countries signed an international agreement in 1977 to execute the Gabčíkovo-Nagymaros barge project. According to the 1977 agreement, 3 hydraulic structures were planned: barrage at Dunakirti, the Gabčíkovo hydropower plant, and the second barrage project at Nagymaros. While Hungary later withdrew from the project due to political and environmental concerns, Slovakia constructed the Gabčíkovo plant in 1977. 1992, Slovakia unilaterally divided the approximately 80% Danube flow into the artificial channel and to the plant, bypassing the natural riverbed. This diversion resulted in serious ecological degradation on the Szigetköz, lowering water levels, dying of floodplain habitats, and severely disrupting the hydrological regime of the Szigetköz region. The reevaluation and redesign of the replenishment system in Szigetköz was necessary. The North Danubian Water Directorate led this extensive large-scale rehabilitation efforts organization, design, implementation, and long-term operation. As a result of the measured implemented between 1992 and 2024, the Szigetköz water replenishment system restored natural water levels on the floodplain riverbank system with dynamically controlled discharges. The work has improved Danube's 40-kilometer-long stretch, creating diverse habitats while promoting ecological connectivity to fish passages. The rehabilitation project involves solving complex hydrological, technical problems, navigating international agreements, and fostering cooperation among diverse stakeholders. One of the most significant difficulties was building mutual trust and reaching consensus on rehabilitation goals, particularly among the local communities, governmental institutions, and environmental organizations. These negotiations were essentially in aligning ecological objectives with social and economic interests. One of the key objectives of the DALIA project is to present the Szigetköz rehabilitation process to a broader international audience. From our research group, Emil Janák was directly involved in implementing the water replenishment efforts. The rest of the team joined the Insula Magna project in 2021, where we undertook an in-depth evaluation of the existing water management system and proposed future improvement to the condition of the historical floodplain. In the DALIA project, our focus is to quantitatively assess the ecological, social, and economic outcomes of interventions carried out between 1992 and 2022. In addition to the scientific evaluation, a central element of the project is knowledge transfer, sharing best practices from Szigetköz across borders for generations. This includes development of guidelines, manuals, consultations, and educational materials aimed at experts and general public. Through these efforts, we want to support replication in other systems and contribute to broader international river restoration initiatives.
What measures did you take to achieve the goals of the project?
So as you can see, the Szigetköz area is a quite unique part of the whole Danube system. It also can be seen on this timeline. The alterations of the Szigetköz began with the development of the inland waterways in the 17th century, which is followed by the early regulations, which created the main bed, now known as the Old Danube. Alteration to the complex system of channels began in the 19th century to improve the navigation and provide flood protection, which created the basics of the current floodplain and the landward area. The hydropower construction in the mid-20th century diverted much water from the main channel and significantly impacted the adjacent floodplain system. And it had a result that the surface and the groundwater levels dropped significantly, and many branches dried up completely, and the system lost its horizontal and vertical connectivity. As it can be seen on the slides, in the early 90s, water shortage was critical, which urged the rehabilitation processes, which actually led to these goals and achievements of the project. So the Szigetköz water replenishment system was designed and constructed to counteract these problems. Stakeholders actively participated in the system's planning to define objectives and establish the rehabilitation priorities. The water replenishment system dynamically controls the incoming flows while allowing the system to evolve naturally. This is a kind of eco-friendly system, practically operates without electricity, creating authentic water conditions. The restoration has granted increasingly diverse habitats and hence ecological connectivity via fish passages and improved water use opportunities, which were, in a timeline, divided into 4 phases. Phase 1 was based on the emergency measures and the initial forest rotations in the early 90s, where the main focus was on the Moshony Danube's baseline discharge, the historical floodplain and channel connections, the active floodplains, which was followed by phase 2, which was actually focused on the planning and the cross-border conditions. This phase lasted until 1995, when the Upper Szigetköz floodplain replenishment system between Rajka and Dasvajráró were constructed. These systems use gravitational method without pumping, only relying on the Dunakility barrage and the old Danube submerged weir. The aim was to mitigate past river regulation effects like river incision and disconnected water bodies. And after that phase 3, from 1995 until 2006, the main hydraulic and regulatory infrastructure was implemented and tested by meaning of water retaining structures, the Upper Szigetköz floodplain area, discharge capacities expanding, and the monitoring and test operation systems to the evaluation under variable flow scenarios. And finally, in phase 4, the infrastructure development and operation from 2006 until 2014 integrated the lower Szigetköz area and its active and historical floodplains where hydraulic structures were installed, and then enhanced water retention and longitudinal and lateral connectivity. In 2022, the Moshony Danube outflow control structure was completed and commissioned. This structure enable control of water levels in the Moshony Danube, supporting real-life flow regulation and flow resilience. And in the next short video, you can see an example of a channel with a lateral structure with the task of providing water into the wider floodplain area. This is located, this area near Ásványráró, which was mentioned before, and as we are getting closer to the impoundment, a spillway can be seen. There's also an ecologically based and ecologically planned fish passage, which also takes place near the spillway. These types of structures can be found in different areas in the Szigetköz, and as now you can see, the system and the woodland areas of the floodplain, and on the left side the reconnection of the channel to the bed of the old Danube. These measures restored dynamic water levels, reconnected isolated habitats, and involved cross-border collaboration and stakeholder engagement, demonstrating a balanced approach between engineering, ecology, and governance.
Was the project focused on biodiversity as well?
Yes, one of the main considerations were biodiversity and the rehabilitation of aquatic habitats. And just referring back to the video that we have just seen, you could see that there are quite large river branches with small or a portion of the flow that historically characterized these branches. So that was one of the main challenge as well to account for these habitats with different water regime that remained after the diversion of the Danube. And also you could see from the previous video that because of riverbed incision, the water level of the old Danube is much lower than it was historically. So the rehabilitation took into consideration the different aquatic habitat types that you can see on the top left of this image. These were pinned first by Amoros et al. In 1987, and it refers to the flow type of water bodies. Eupotamon is flowing water all year around. Parapotamon has flowing water only in high flow situations. Then Plesiopotamon has only temporal connectivity to the flowing waters and still has a stagnant water body, and Paleopotamon only connects with flowing waters through groundwater. So in the pictures below, you can see these different types of habitats recreated in the floodplain that were actually dry areas after the diversion of the Danube.
Please tell me, where did the funding come from, and did the funders impose any specific constraints, any specific conditions for you?
These are phases of the rehabilitation that Gergely mentioned before me. Just referring back to the diversion of the Danube towards the Gabčíkovo power plant. It was, of course, a large scale project, and water replenishment was already part of that project. So they were planning water replenishment as well. And that, I mean, the large-scale hydropower project, and not just hydropower, it was an integrated project to account for navigation, nature reservation, as well as water supply. So that project was primary financing the water replenishment as well, but as that project failed partially because of the disagreement between the two countries, then the diversion of the Danube has led to a very problematic or dramatic situation with the pictures that we have shown before with dried up river branches, and so emergency measures were first installed, financed by the national government of Hungary. Then there was an agreement managed between the two countries about water allocation. In 1995, actually, it was a temporary agreement that is still, since then, is in power today. So still, the national government of Hungary financed the first phase, the third phase of actions that was the actual infrastructure development to retain water in these large river branches, to retain that small discharge of water that actually flows through the Szigetköz today. And just there was one final thing about the lower Szigetköz. It was financed mainly by European Union projects from the Regional Development Fund and Cohesion funds. And of course, operation is still financed by the national government of Hungary, realizing the ecosystem service benefits that these replenishment systems give. And this is also part of the work that we are doing in DALIA project to evaluate these ecosystem services, because it's important to show why it is worth to operate this kind of system.
What were the main challenges in implementing this project?
I mentioned in the previous slide about the agreement with Slovakia, but it was key. You can see pictures of constructing a submerged weir that previously Gergely was also talking about. This is a cross-border structure. On the other side of the river from where the pictures are taken, that is Slovakia. This side of the river is Hungary. So the two countries had to agree on constructing this structure that enables the elevation of water levels in the headwaters and the water replenishment of the historical and also the active floodplain. So this was one of the main challenges to agree between the two countries. And also within Hungary, there was a lack of trust towards water managers because of the failure of the large-scale project, that this trust had to be regained. And this was regained through stakeholder involvement activities that Emil, after me, will talk about more in depth. And the final challenge was the planning and designing of this system that could recreate water levels and to recreate not just the water levels but the dynamic nature of water level fluctuations within the historical and active floodplain with much less water than in the natural condition was there. So these were the main challenges that the project overcame. And just a short video again. This you can see the Cunovo Dam in Slovakia, where water is diverted towards the Gabčíkovo plant, and remaining of water going to Mošony Danube and Old Danube. And you can see the floodplain forest here. And yeah, it is just as you can see on the top right corner in the map with the red dot, that's where we are. And so this is a vast area that needed rehabilitation. And that's what has been done in this 30-year project.
And now we are coming to the stakeholders. How much does the local community have to be involved to make a project successful? Sustainable over the timing?
The design of the Gabčíkovo project was conducted during the socialist era, when community and stakeholder involvement was not a priority. The partial failure of the project has led to the loss of trust in the water management sector within Hungary. It was necessary to rethink and redesign the replenishment system. The very first step was to involve the relevant stakeholders in order to identify their expectations towards water management. It was clearly stated that water managers do not want to define the objectives themselves. Rather, their role is to respond to and fulfill the needs articulated by the stakeholders. During the meetings with stakeholders, we discovered that the main conflicts are among the different stakeholders rather than between the water management and stakeholders. The role of water engineering team was to help to reach a compromise among the stakeholders and define the common priorities. Following extensive stakeholder discussions, a temporary compromise was achieved, endorsing a dynamic water replenishment strategy. This approach is designed to align with the natural hydrological regime of the Danube River, with particular focus on maintaining water level conditions within the low to medium range, thereby supporting the restoration and preservation of natural water level dynamics. This approach also aimed to enhance the replenishment of tributary system, which has suffered from reduced water levels since the 1950s. As a result, the target water levels for replacement were based on conditions from the 1950s and 1960s, considering the vegetation period. This allowed water managers to start the design of the replenishment system and contributed to its success. After the construction of the water replenishment system in 1995, the water directorate responsible for water management wanted to maintain the trust established during the planning period. Therefore, in 1990s, after years of experience operating the system in test run mode, the stakeholders were gathered again to agree on the long-term operation of the system. After the authority issued the operating permit, the operating committee was formally established in 2001 with the participation of all major stakeholders.
Are there aspects of this project that are specific to the location, region, or country? What would be transferable?
The location has several specific aspects that make the area and its development complex. Some of these, with the most emphasis, are the inland river delta, resulting in special ecosystem, the cross-border location, the area's crucial groundwater resources, most important navigation bottleneck along the main Danube route, and the significant flood risk. Because of the complex water management problems, the diverse stakeholder was, and it is still necessary to involve stakeholders actively. As mentioned earlier, members of the Szigetköz Operating Committee are representatives of various sectors such as water management, disaster prevention, nature conservation, forestry, agriculture, local government, fishing, and tourism organizations. The committee still meets at least once a year, and the goal of the committee is to evaluate the operation of the water replenishment system and recommend necessary actions for the following year. The operating committee also serves as a forum. It's kind of a mediator platform to resolve conflicts between water users. Speaking of transferability, the solution of this complex set of problems is transferable for multiple aspects. The technical solutions, as well as stakeholder involvement methods, can be transferred to other regions and areas struggling with a broad variety of water-related problems.
Please tell us, how could your experience on this project help others implement successful restoration works?
There are many potential areas that can be replicated. One is the design phase. You can use the technical solutions, the design guidelines for fish species. Also, you can replicate the operation, the dynamic control, and the artificial flooding. And of course, you can replicate the policy and decision-making for conflict resolution, and also the Szigetköz Operating Committee. Within the DALIA project, a total of 10 replication pilot sites were selected from over 20 applicants. 3 out of the 10 successful projects applied to replicate good practices of the Szigetköz demonstration pilot site. These partners are from Portugal, with an action plan of ecosystem monitoring and restoration policy and decision-making. The other one is from Bosnia and Herzegovina, with an action plan of revitalization of ecological system in Sava, including stakeholder involvement. And the third one is from Israel, with action plan of nature-based solutions to balance economic factors and biodiversity design principles.
In summary, what are your key messages for those facing the restoration challenge?
The Szigetköz Rehabilitation Project revealed several critical lessons for effective ecological restoration. And in our group, we had some discussion what we would highlight, what was the most important, what we like to send across. And we found that we were thinking the most significant challenge was the initial absence of stakeholder involvement during infrastructure development. This led to complication once problems surfaced after the power plant construction. To address these challenges, we recommend the following steps from our perspective. Take immediate action to reduce the ecological damage, of course, problem identification, conflict recognition, and acknowledge them. social engagement, planning, and operation and maintenance. Once construction is complete, a comprehensive monitoring network that tracks environmental impact must support the system operation and maintenance. And this approach, combined with the stakeholder involvement in the evaluation, enables informed decisions during the system evaluation. I highlighted the social engagement in this slide since we found this one of the most important aspects of rehabilitation, critical lessons we learned. What we would say as a key takeaway: effective restoration is more than repairing the ecosystem. It's about restoring relationship between people and natural processes. Success depends on good water stewardship, inclusive social engagement, and technical knowledge, and short and shared long-term commitment to sustainability and resilience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to everybody. It was very interesting, and I am sure that will be interesting for everybody who will see this showcase. Thank you.